All right, we're ready there. Mic is ready. I'm going to press record and make sure we're recording now. We are recording. We are on. So, welcome to the 5th episode of Mom. I got my brother here with me, Charles Williams. I am, of course, Sean Sims, and we are here to talk about what today, Charles?
So we got a video that was sent to us from a social media influencer, and one of the things that a couple of friends of ours had asked us to break down is the idea that how do we feel about her take on things about men, because a lot of them just didn't understand. So this was sent to us, and we're going to try to go through it, and here it is, and let's see where we go with.
All right. So this is from Nurturing His Leadership from Talk to Me Kitty. And so we're gonna play something she says about just nurturing your man. So I'm just gonna play this for you really quick, and then we're gonna discuss it. Okay?
Nurturing his leadership. I love the conversation. Now, if you are a woman who feels as though you don't have to do anything for a man, or that you're perfect or you're always right, you shouldn't be listening to me in the first place. This is for people who like to have a harmonious relationship, okay? Now, nurturing does not mean to baby or enable a man. I need to stop compartmentalizing that word with babying someone. That's not what that means. Now, nurturing his leadership means to stand by his purpose. Nurturing his leadership means to be receptive of his ideas and his needs and his desires. If you want that man to be great, if you want that man to operate his greatness, then he's going to need you. Duh. And that means that you need to study and really get to know your man in and out. Because if you don't study him and know him in and out, you're not going to be attentive to his needs. You're not going to see where there are some areas that need work. You're not going to see the areas where he needs help when he's too man to ask you for the help. Because there's a lot of men who will not ask for help. Acknowledge the things that he is doing for you, for your relationship, for your children, for your family. Acknowledge that, like show him appreciation. Stand by him in his purpose. Meaning, if you see that he is trying to get to that dream and he is working and he is doing, baby, take some of the weight off of him. Now, I don't think that you have to take in all responsibilities, but we all do have roles. There is relationship dynamics, okay? You see, this man is working all day and night. He comes home and he's still working, or you see that he is like always on the low trying to take care of stuff, baby. Do certain things around him that make him feel seen, make him feel appreciated. They can just make him say, and relax. Right.
Let's go. Let's go.
I like the whole be that man's piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I work a lot. I do as I'm building my business, my photography, videography business, I do a lot of work outside and inside of the house. And it's just like, I'm getting beat up by clients, not really beat up, but I'm just working. I'm hard, actually, I want peace when I come into my house. I want to be able to talk to my wife. But unfortunately, we have exactly what she's describing here, where I have shown her Kenny's pieces, and just so I can communicate with my wife about just some issues or how I'm feeling, because we don't communicate the way we should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I love it when she said, be at a position. Like for me, if I'm not going to get the help wise, and I love it when she says, so the idea that she said, be that man's peace. Men, especially black men, right? We have to go to war out in the community, we at work, and not to say that the women don't have the same, right? But most men are at war with their emotions and how to process and what to do with it, right? And when we're still in the society, and if you tell a woman how you feel and you're emotional about something, you're still seen as weak, or some women, man, they'll see that as like less than masculine, or you can be placed in a category of being pussy. And I'm, for the lack of a better terminology, I'm sorry if that offensive, but that's the way it is, right? So men struggle with that. So you come home and I'm asking for help. If I'm at war all day, now I have a small business, I work, I'm a single father, I'm single and I'm trying to navigate through all this, right? So trying to meet and understand people as it is tough enough, right? And now we live in a society, everybody loves everybody, but don't nobody know how to show love. I don't understand that. You know, if it's like, if I tell you I love you, you my friend, that means that at 3 o'clock in the morning, something happens to you, I'm in it for you, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
I need to be there for you. Simple as that. But when you're in relationships, man, you're only as good as what you can provide. And as a man, that gets tiring because it's like kind of like you pouring all day into everybody else. And it's like it's like you're pouring it out into the ground. So it's like you pouring it on solid cement, right? So it's like you never will get that back. You just pouring and giving them yourself all the time. So it's like I always say, for me, I just need a pillow somewhere. I just need to lay down. I just need to sit down next to you, even if you're rubbing my shoulders. Like, have a conversation, even act like you care. The thing is that, you know, I in relationships, right? I always do this. This is I'm a giver. So if you come home and I've had a bad day, I want to know about yours first, because you're the woman in the house. You're the softest place for me, the children, right? So I want to give you that. I want to give. And if that means that I have to sacrifice my day, which is most times, right? I don't mind doing that.
Right.
But when I have a day when I'm just like, hon, I just need you, like, figure out a way to be there for me. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't that difficult. Like, I just need you sometimes. And I don't need you to fix anything for me. Men already feel like that's their job. So we're always spinning our wheels and figure out how we can fix, how we can do this, right? I don't need you to do. I just need you to hear me. I just know that somebody understands me. Somebody in this world has my back. You know what I mean? And I don't think that a lot of women always tell us, like, listen, I always say this, and I said this to a friend of ours, right? Do not seek the counsel of your girlfriends to deal with man problems. Because that man, a bunch of women are not going to tell you how to handle that man. I don't care. Every man is not the same.
Well, that would come into question that she would need a male friend, and then how that relationship going to affect you if she has a male friend that she's confiding in and talking about her relationship with you. And you know, sometimes I would say maybe she needs a godly female friend that's not in the world, but that's more so, you know, that can call her on her stuff. Like if she's not doing something, like Kenny was talking about, you know, studying your man, and I think most women have their own agenda set forth and want that agenda met. Right. And so when they're doing things, when they're planning things, it's what they want to do. Where it's not specifically geared toward what their husband might want to do.
Right.
And so they say, well, I did all these things. Yeah, but that's really not what their husband needed or wanted.
Right.
The husband may have gone along with it and say, yeah, I'll do that.
Right.
You know, because they love you and they want to spend time with you, but that's not what your husband may have wanted.
Right.
So take your agenda out and then find out what your husband's wants and needs are.
Right.
And then make those plans. You know, make him feel special. He's not just going along with what you schedule or what you plan.
Right.
You know, like for instance, you could, my wife said, oh, well, come on, let's go see a show. Like, you know, you know, that's cool. You know, it's really cool.
Right.
You know, but she don't say, you know, but you know, what I may want to say, let's go to see a game.
Right.
Right. I mean, let me get you tickets to the Sixers or whatever.
Right.
Let's go hang out there.
Right.
But that's not what she wants to do. And she doesn't enjoy that. Right.
Right.
That's and this is where her agenda comes into play. She schedules what she wants to do.
Right.
And then of course, you know, if I'm going to spend time with her, which I do, I'll say, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
But you know, you don't. What happens is if there's some kind of resentment, like, well, I did this and this is what I did. Yeah, but I'm going along with what you want to do.
Right.
It's not specifically what I'm asking you to do for me.
Right.
And I think in order for you to sacrifice, you know, Bible calls us to be each other's servant, right?
Right.
You know, if you want to serve your husband, study him, find out what his needs and wants and desires are, and then plan those things.
Right.
Right. You can plan your stuff too, but you know, every once in a while, do something for him that he likes to do that he would love for you to do for him.
That's part of studying your man and knowing your man.
Right.
And the thing is that, like you said something, like you touched on a good point. A lot of females think they plan something that they want to do for you, and they tell you you need to be grateful. What? Like, I'm going to this with you. And first of all, let me get back to a point.
Yeah.
If I'm married, if I ever get to a point where I walk down an aisle with somebody again, right? I'll be damned if she got anything to do with that work that she gonna be telling our business to. Like, that ain't gonna happen. So when you need CQ wise counsel, you need a man, find your pastor. You even go talk to
A therapist.
a therapist, right?
He was a man.
He can be a man or female. I prefer he be a female, but I'm not. It is what it is, right? But the Bible says, seek ye wise counsel. And my thing is that a lot of times you got to remember what the scary thing is that people write is that people don't understand. People give you advice on your life based on their misery and their life. So what you got to do is people got to learn to take yourself out of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I don't understand a lot of my friends' relationship, right? And I tell them, I said, number one, I tell them off the bat, like, listen, I'll tell you how I feel, but here's the thing: I'm not under the covering I'm not under the godly covering of a wife. I'm not married. I'm single. So take the advice, but understand that here's where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm qualified to give the advice, but I'll tell you what my opinions are, right? Because I want you to take that with you and always know. And I have a cousin who's going through something. He's married. He comes to me and I have a talk, I have a conversation. I'm like, listen, I don't think that's the way marriage is supposed to be. Perhaps going to God and having this conversation.
Right.
And he's like, man, why you always do that? And I was like, because if I'm going to tell you, I would first tell you I wouldn't put up with shit you put up with, right?
You're right.
But that's not God-like. And as a man who loves God, a man who drives, lives where I'm not supposed to do that. So I always tell him, like, listen, man, this is the conversation. I'll listen to you. I know it's hard for you, but here's what you need to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't do that. They hear somebody's going through something, and you can't possibly understand what these people are going through or what they're doing. You don't know the nuances. And I love when people say, I know them personally. I know exactly what they're going through. And I was trying to tell them, this is what I would do. No, this is why I don't. You're not married to that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody's marriage has a special bond, and everybody has a special way. Like, I know my married friends, right? My married brother and friends, when you sit around and you talk to them, each and every one of them is unique in their perspective. Even if all of us get together, right? Most of my homies are married, and even all of them like a particular sport, like football or soccer. They all love different teams, and they all like them for different reasons.
Right.
So you can't apply one's love for Eagles. Like, we're both Eagles fans, right? We're fans for different reasons. When we talk about the team, it just sounds different. So it would be like somebody trying to give me advice based on the way you like the Eagles. That ain't it.
Right.
And that's what people need to understand, man. And the whole idea about studying man. And and that's another thing we talked about the last time. I don't get this notion where women feel like we have to provide them protection, but you negate the responsibility that men require protection.
So protection, I think, is a really good topic or subject because I don't think a lot of women know that they need to be protecting their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that providing them with intimacy, right?
Right.
Sex. Yes, sex. So if you're taking care of your man in the bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
ain't no need for him to go elsewhere or to have eyes on another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's protecting, and that's puts a headship over your marriage, right? And the Bible talks about sex. In the Bible, there's a whole chapter on it. The Song of Solomon. And God created sex. So
Right.
He called men to procreate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to popularize the word. Look at it. Okay. I don't know my head is right now, but yeah, to populate plural, right? That's all Adam and Eve to do that, right? When he created Eve from Adam, and Adam looked at Eve, he was like, "Yo, you know what I mean? This is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone."
Right.
He was very excited to have her, and I wonder why, but and the Bible says that he knew her. Right. And so God created sex. Sex is great in the marriage bed, and we should be having a lot of it. I say this all the time. The devil, right, gives us every chance and opportunity to get into bed with each other before we get married, and then he wants to keep us out of the marriage bed when we do. Right? Is that sound familiar to anybody? You had a lot of sex, premarital sex before you got married, and then now the sex is just like, this yeah. Or it could be vice versa. It could be the guy that's not, that doesn't want to have sex. It could be there are men out there that just don't have the sex drive that the wives do, but
Oh, and that's different than he don't want it.
Right.
Everybody say that's a wild kitty cat. I have a hard never said help with that. But ain't nobody going like, no, I'm going like we had so many years of it. Ooh, I'm on a diet right now. Had a lot of head. Nah.
But no, I mean that's a form of protection, and I didn't need to be protected that way. Right? I know you wanted to talk about later on in our show about work wives and work husbands. Like that could protect if you're not having a really enjoyable sex life, then that's when the enemy can creep in. There's other issues too, but with communication, we talked about that earlier, right? If you don't feel safe with your spouse, but if you guys do have a great relationship, or I know a lot of times men don't feel like they're connected with their spouse, and so they don't really communicate with them because sex is lacking in a relationship. That's how we connect as men. We do. We connect physically a lot of time. We work with our hands. We're physical people. We're visual. We're visual. Yeah, we're visual people. So we like to see pretty things. We like to see our wives and nice dresses and nice outfits and lingerie and things of that nature because we're visual. And we want to touch and we want to feel and we're hands on. And so that all connects with a man to his spouse, to his wife. And if he's feeling like he's wanted and sought after and pursued and from his spouse, then he feels connected.
Right.
And he feels protected.
Right.
So for me, I think that's a huge form of protection is just your sex life and having a really good one in your marriage.
Well, and part of that too, man, ladies don't get it. They think like, I'm going to bust it open. He wants me to bust it open every night. No. Part of the big thing with sex is you wanting this.
Yeah.
Like, so I do everything I do in the work. I work, listen, I don't care. I work 5 jobs, run 2 businesses, go to 6 corporations, and raise money for a startup company. I'll do that 24 hours a day and go to school. If I go home and you want me and I'm your greatest desire, I don't want anything else. And it keeps me blinded to what's on the outside because I want it at home. And ladies might say, well, man, we want to be wanted too. We always want to. I'm telling you, the only thing you got to do is change the panty color, put on something different, and then it's a new gift to us with an old package. We don't care.
That's
the idea. Yeah.
Definitely. That's
right.
It's definitely gift.
Right. Because the thing is that for us, you say in your mind, when you a man, you're like, that is mine. That belongs to me. And the Bible says surrender you one to another. So I, in turn, when I feel like that, I want to make you feel like that.
Yeah.
Like I belong to you. Like even if I'm tired at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can wake my big behind up. Please don't hesitate. Try me if you want. In 5 minutes, I'll get ready. You see what I'm saying?
Get off and go brush your teeth.
Listen, I don't do that. Yeah, listen, I ain't never problem with that. I'm like, I'm like, this shit work out, honey. Okay, no problem. See, I don't, because the thing is that the one thing I don't believe in is not making sure that my partner's covered as well. And in the conversation, we talk about covering, right? The biggest thing in coverage too is when you walk into a room, a man knows the deal. A man knows the difference between feeling like a king than feeling like a peasant. If I walk in the door and you're at the table with a bunch of your girlfriends, and I walk in and I get snickers, snares, and I get little snark comments, that's a peasant. That's the feeling that you give a peasant. As a man, when I walk into my home, and if you're friends at a table, and I walk in, I know the difference in a king's stare and how a king should feel. So when I feel like a king, I in turn want to make you feel like a queen. I in turn, men just want to give, like most men, because that's what we're trained to do. I work, I do this so that I can provide this life for us. So that in turn, that you're happy and that you have the things you want, right? And anytime you are me, right? And I am you. The thing is that, man, when you walk in, and some women just don't get it, man. The thing is that some women are so dependent on their friends or people's accepting of what they were. One of the greatest things is that, and as a widow, right, like, I'm thank God, one of the greatest things in my marriage is that we never allowed the term work woman or work wife or work husband, right? Because that nigga did work hard enough to be called your husband. And no chick on the side or at work worked hard enough to be considered my wife. So that whole term work husband and work wife, I don't play that.
Yeah.
I don't play that.
I guess I don't have that issue because both my wife and I we're solopreneurs, so I don't really work with anybody. Neither does she. Not closely. She has tensions that she's in, but she.
I'm a nurse, so
Yeah.
you understand. Like it's always how that term pops up, and I'm like, nah. I get called arrogant for it, and I'm like, nah. Even I'm single, I'm like, nah.
Right. Yes, which is Charles.
Yeah.
We can. You're no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can be my work husband.
Right. No, because then I'm a work while you do this.
Not good.
I'm good. I'm good. So no. Yeah, you're fortunate to have that, but like you said, you have you have a different set of principles and issues that you have to deal with in working solo, right? You guys, difficulty, probably the biggest thing for y'all is so busy having to carve out time for each other because you're so busy focused on the goal of what y'all want to accomplish for your family. You may miss that little half a day for each other is important.
Yeah, we have to put it in our calendars.
Yeah. See,
Bible study need to put that in our calendars. Just time alone, we have to put that in your calendar.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that's just life. And so, like I put a post out on Facebook and on Instagram the other day. Because I know the brother Twitch, he passed, he committed suicide, right? Yeah. And so, my wife asked me a question. She said, "Well, what do you think about that?" Because I have, and I talked to you personally about this when I'm voicing it out there that I considered it suicide about a year ago, right? And so she asked me, and I revealed that to my wife. And she asked me, with my experience with I didn't attempt it. I considered it. I was thinking about it, and I told her I was having those thoughts. She asked me, how did that make me feel? Like, how do you think he was dealing with whatever he was going through?
right.
And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what his home life was. I don't know what his marriage was. I don't know what is going on with his kids. Sometimes when you're at that level of, I guess, of celebrity, and you feel like you're doing so much for so many people, and you're not receiving that level or even a small percentage of that level of love in return, you're like, dude, I'm not worth much to anybody. I'm just here as a paycheck. I'm just here as a person who can provide for someone else.
Felt that before.
Yeah. And
Felt that before.
and so I don't know that brother's story. I don't even really know who he was. I don't watch a lot of TV. I didn't watch the Ellen DeGeneres show. I didn't watch whatever show he was on, the dancing show that he was on, for that. But, for me, I feel that. Like, I felt when I was thinking about it, I felt like, it would be, nobody really cares. I'm doing all this for my wife and for my kids. And, sometimes, they don't clean up, or they can be disrespectful, and my wife can be really distant from me. And it was just like, and we were having issues in our marriage, and I was just like, all right, well, maybe I should do this, and she'll have some money, she can take care of kids, because I can get put out of my misery, because I'm hurt. I'm hurt, and I think a lot of people, a lot of men don't communicate when we're hurting. We don't, because what you said earlier about being called, less than a man or weak, and we don't want that. Like coward. We're cowardly because we're hurt. Like, we can be hurt. Like, we can be hurt by our spouses. We can be hurt by our children. And typically when we do that, we respond in anger. Like, you don't disrespect me. You don't say that. You don't treat me that way. You don't talk to me that way, especially with your kids. But it also can come out as anger with your wife, because she disrespected you, or she's not providing the things that you want from her. And my wife says this all the time, like, I'm going to fail you over and over again each day. Well, yeah, I hear that, but what I need to see is some effort of you. You try it, right? You try not to fail, rather than, okay, I'm going to fail. You need to recognize that, and I'm human. Yes, that is a definite cause. We're all falling individuals, and we want to fail each other every day. But as a coach, and I coach a lot. Like, I just started coaching basketball again, and I tell my guys, listen, talent is one thing, but effort is another. you know, if you don't have the talent, that's okay. But I want to see 120% effort in you. And so it's the same thing with my wife. And like, okay, you might not have the talent, but I want to see the effort.
Right.
If I don't see the effort and you got the talent,
Right.
that's a whole different story. But if you don't have the talent and you're not giving the effort either,
Yeah.
that's just like, okay, well, you really don't care.
Right. Right.
And so, and you know, with Twitch, I don't know his situation, but I feel for his family. You know, I'm praying for his family because he left a beautiful wife and children out there. And so there are people out there, men out there that are hurting, that are sad, that are lonely, that just aren't expressing it because they don't feel like it's a safe space to talk to their spouse or other people about it. You know, because either we can be labeled cowardly, weak, you know, and whatever you want, however you want to attach that. But men, if they don't feel safe, if you don't have that kind of relationship with them, you should ask them, like, really, honey, how are you feeling? How are we doing? Is there anything that I could be doing differently? Especially if you know that they're distant from, yeah.
Well, for me, honestly, man, I'll tell you once or twice, but I'm not doing a lot always.
So in lies another issue, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
After a few times, yeah, I'm just like, hey, dude, I'm like, yo, I've told you this before.
I'm sorry.
And then it's just like, okay, I've told you this. What do I need to do at this point? Because you either don't care to listen,
Right.
or you don't care to do the things I'm asking you to do. So why bother even telling you again?
Right.
And so this is where I'm saying, have that conversation again. You know, apologize. Like, yo, I know I'm not doing, you know, what you're asking, what you're needing me to do. And, you know, this is maybe there's some reason. Maybe there's some physical condition. Maybe there's some mental thing. Maybe there's some things in your relationship where you guys need to seek counseling for. Maybe there's some things in your past that you're having a problem with that you need to seek counseling for.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing, and I can't speak for most people, right? But I'll own my stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, is this me? Like, is this because of me? Now, what do I need to do to resolve this, right? And I'll give you an answer, because so what I'll do is I'm always responsible for what I do. And I took years of just work, spiritual, emotional, and experiences and this stuff. Right? So first thing I do, I look with that. Is this causing me? I associate with music, right? And I love this one song by Tank, and it's called
You always mention that damn thing.
I know. No, he's doing these things that soundtracks of our life. You know, so
Has Joe put out any new music? Or
that's been a couple of years ago, and the last project he put out. But yeah, I do. Them dudes just I'm telling you, I can just play this. I can just play the soundtrack. And some of the old R. Kelly songs, which is not really pop, literally talking about, I gotta leave that off the table. You know what I mean? We're not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things he had said, he said, "Am I the reasons why?" This was from like his first album. He said, "Am I the reason why? Like, am I the reason? Am I the cause for these broken hearts? Am I the reason?" So I love that song, because for me, that's what I'll go to. That song, dude. First thing I'm telling you,
go ahead, sing it in the mouth. Go ahead, sing it. You know you want to sing. I know. I'm still, I'm ready to. No. I'm telling. I bring the mic closer now. Yeah, I'm
telling you, I want to go and hit my head, and it don't sound like I'm coming out my mouth, but in my head, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I could be up there getting paid to be his side.
Maybe I gotta come and Lee Charles sing, bro. Yeah, and you might be carrying. Yeah.
But anyway, so for me, when I'm in a relationship, that song is like a model. It plays in my head. Am I the reason why? Am I the reason for these broken hearts? Am I the reason? What did I do? Right? Am I the reason that you're angry? First thing I say, well, okay. So if I come in and you're angry, I'm like, have I done something? No. Okay. Well, because I want to process it. Let's fix it. But that took years of experience to do that, right? So with all that being said, and I'm giving you all that, when I'm not getting my needs met, you argue, you're angry with me, you're frustrated with this kid, the situation, your niece or your cousin or whatever, and you start to neglect me, dude, we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. I've been, no. Here's the thing. If I'm not the cause of any of that, so why am I suffering in the middle of this, right? Do you understand this is wrong? So it's like me having a problem at work and coming home and you all dressed and sexy, right? And you can obviously see I'm excited. But I'm like, no, I'm going to keep this thing to myself because, you know, you I had a bad day at work. No, we don't do that, right? So what I'll do is when you get like that, when you start to get to a point when if I'm in a relationship and I'm telling you, I get quiet. I'm like, okay, I done told you 2 or 3 times how this is bothering me. Because see, here's the thing. The one thing I'm not going to do is treat a grown woman like a kid. You already know how I feel, and you know what I need, you know what I want, and it's up to you to decide if you want to deal with it, fix it,
Right.
or make it work. So if by you not doing anything or not making an attempt at having a conversation already tells me where your position is. You're not interested in, so I'm not interested in wasting my words. I'm a talk. So if a female tells you like, you be like, he all quiet, right? Like I don't want nothing to say. You're like, oh shoot, that's bad. That's bad. Because it's not like I'm not punishing you. What I'm doing is protecting myself.
Yeah.
Because, and that's what I was in a relationship impact.
You're protecting them too. Like, just you think you say, right, out of anger, like, oh, nope, if I say that, and that's when the line throughout a whole relationship has been held up another 10 years from now. Remember I said that, they don't get over it. So now, I'm the same way. Like, I'm just like, I don't feed into it anymore.
Right.
It's just like, my wife asked me the other we got into something, and she said, and she went off for like 20 minutes. She asked me how I was feeling. I told her, and then she went into a defensive mode. She went off for 20 minutes, and then after she was done, she said, well, do you have anything to say?
No.
And I said, no.
Yeah, what do you say?
Yeah.
No, I went into struggling. I've been in a relationship a while ago, and I tried to have this conversation, and this person that did something to me was so nice, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it one last ditch effort. And I had a conversation. I was like, I want to let you know that when you weaponize my feelings, here's what it is. And that went on for a 42-minute car ride home about how what I was saying made them feel, and the crying and the tears. All the stuff that I had bottled up in me, I turned my head. Turned my head towards the window, and I just bawled. Whole freaking 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing to say. And that one didn't even notice that I was hurting. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? There's nothing here for me because this is not about me. This is going to never be about me. I'm never going to be worthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
So when a man gets out, he is hurting. That's
Right.
a big point.
Right.
He's hurting.
Right.
He's hurting.
Right. Right.
You did something to hurt that brother,
Right.
that mother,
Right.
your husband, your spouse. You did something to hurt them.
Right.
And so if you want to pull back and say, well, he's not talking to me, so I'm not going to talk to him,
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
But that hurt that he's feeling is going to destroy your relationship. Because number one, he's not going to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, he's not going to ever want to talk to you about whatever subject y'all was talking about before. So he's not going to bring it up, even if you guys get better with it, until you prove to him that you can be a safe space for him. When typically won't happen because he won't give you another opportunity, especially if this has happened several times.
Yep.
Then you might as well just like, first of all, you need to go to him and apologize, especially if you're manipulating the conversation when he was trying to talk to you about his feelings and then you blamed him for having feelings.
Yeah. I'm going to know how you feel.
Yeah.
I want to really know how you feel. I want to know how you feel. But, since you feel that way, this is what I'm going to do to you.
No. But this is why you don't, so hey, there's a lot of times that in a relationship when I'm expressing her to my wife, my feelings, well, you didn't do this. Or you don't do that. And I don't get mad at you when you do this.
Yeah.
And when you do that. Or I go to God when you do this. I don't shun you, or I don't get distant from you. I just continue to try to move forward to you. But okay, we're different people.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm coming, and typically I'm coming to you for a whole different level than where you are. And it's also more difficult for me to express my feelings to you, right? Because as a man, we're not socialized that way. So if I'm doing that and then you shut me down and you don't hear me, it's like,
Yeah, because it's done. And I stood to a breaking point, right? And men, if we love, right? See, here's the thing. Men love harder than women. I don't care what they say, because once we can love past our breaking points. Once a woman's broken, she don't love past that point. But a man will. He'll continue to love. He'll continue to give. He'll continue to do what's right because he feels once he loves you, even though he feels that there's less there for him, he'll still give. Now, women give this in a very different way, right? They give in a sense of more of a nurturing, right? But in the sense of loving past themselves, like, that seems to be nowadays the new age of thinking with women. It seems to be gone, right? Like you would have that with the older women. They would be like, oh, mom and pop, and we have to do this because there was a bigger obligation to family, to the generation behind them and the children. Now it's only about me. I don't care how this affects them. I have a right to be happy.
Right.
So it's like everybody's easily disposed of, right? But men are still carrying traditional values in an untraditional way. And like women want traditional marriages. They want the man to do this. They want the man to do this. But you don't want to do traditional things. If I asked you to iron my shirt, you're offended, right? But I will iron your shirt.
Right.
And here's the thing. If I say I want a hot meal at home, it's because on a Sunday, it's because the other 6 days a week, I'm doing the cooking.
Right.
You see me? So I just don't understand this whole thing as you want modern ways, but yet you want an old-fashioned man. You cannot say Prince Charming rescue you when you're really looking for Raheem to come and scoop you up in the Jeep. It don't go that way.
Without coming to the door, he's just beeping the horn.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on, get your butt gone. I'm right there. You know what I mean? And I don't understand this fantasy of how this fantasy of being mistreated seems to be the new norm. I don't get that.
Right.
I don't get that. I want somebody that's going to grab me, that's going to do certain things. But I always tell them, like, I'm not for that. If my masculinity don't want to make you automatically step into your femininity, I'm not the one for.
Yeah.
And I've said this to females, and I'm good with saying that. And they determine me to be arrogant, but it's not that. I'm not arrogant at all. It's just that I want you to have the things you want, right? I'm not going to do all that. I'm not compromising myself. I won't. This is what I won't do. But I'm telling you from the door, I'm not going to trap you in a relationship and tell you everything and sell your fantasy. I'm going to say,
Right, you got to begin like, all right, who you are from my or
right.
This is who I am.
Right.
Accept it or not.
And one of the things I say right now is that I'm working on myself spiritually, reading my Bible, going forward. There's a lot of stuff I need to do to be prepared to where I feel God wants me to be at, right? So I'm working towards that. So if I meet a girl or now, and she's not going in that path, I'm like, sure, you're nice, we can be friends, but here's where I'm going.
Yeah.
And if you say, I can do that too, but sure, when life is not aligned, I already trusted somebody. I'm not doing that. I won't do that, right? Here's what I'm willing to do, right? Here's where I see my life at. If you're aligned with that, let's talk, right? And if you're not, we can still talk. We can be friends. I have no problem being friends. I got no obligation, friends. We good, right? I don't expect nothing.
But they want more. They want more from you.
So here's the thing. It ain't about what they want. Not at this point, right? It's about what you want when you are my one that I want, all right? And what I mean by that is that you're the one that puts the work in. You're the one that I can't be without. You're the one that's shown me your value and that's helped me see the value in what I am to you, right? You're the one who has taken the time. You're the one who knows that I got a crazy schedule that says, look, you got an hour here. I'll be over there. We're going to sit in these cookies and do something as simple as that is all I'm asking. I don't ask for a lot. If for me to give away all of what I am and what I got and to change the trajectory of my children's future and my future and what we're doing in life, she has to be work. I don't know why females feel like I show up, I have a vagina, and I'm nice to you. You should be grateful. No, shorty. That don't work because your niceness don't only last for so long.
Right.
And if you guys,
especially if you're putting some really stringent binds on what you have and what you can provide. Like, right, I had this. Right. Like you said, I had the vagina. Right. Hey, you want this. Right. So I'm going to use this to manipulate you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, too many of them are.
Yeah,
I'm good. That's like y'all say. The supermarket has
so hot. So I think in America it's 5 women. I think I read the last statistic: 5 women to every man.
I think it's international.
Yeah. So because they lock us up like real right. It's like, well, in the African American community, probably like 12 or 13.
Right.
Women to
and here's the thing. Here's what I'm tired of. All right. You'll go to women, and women will tell you everything they want. I'm like, okay, I've said this before, previous podcast. You're like, okay, I got that. I can do that. No problem, right? But you start talking about what you want, it's like you talking with two heads. So it's like you want me to sacrifice all of it and give you all the things you need. What about what I need? And the thing is, why is it not why is it not value for me to act or important? Why is what I want not important?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know why we're so different. I know men are wired differently than women, but it's like we can do all the things that women want us to do, but when it comes to women needing to do what we want them to do, it's difficult. Not in all cases, obviously. But
Real woman put in real work. So let's start there.
right.
We, like she said, if you a real woman, we ain't talking about you. This is not a conversation for you. I always say this, and I said a young brother on YouTube said that, yeah, you ain't gonna like this, but he said it. And he said, and I agree with him. He said, good women are standing too close to the holes. And that's what's happening out there. So for the good women out here, we're not talking about you. You get a pass. You're not even a part of the subject line.
Yeah.
And she
Turn the video off.
right.
Don't even watch this. Don't even watch the podcast.
And even if you're a good woman with some flaws and we can have a conversation, this is for you, right? Because if I can help you be somewhere, fine, right? But this is not, I always take two women, like you get one girl, like I never forget this. Kevin Samuels when he died, right? He had some controversial stuff. Naturally, all people do. You got a podcast. You got to kind of stick to. Sometimes the controversy and dipping your foot in controversy is what helps out ratings. Unfortunately, for some guys, hopefully we never have to do that. Our conversations are always genuine. But when the man died, there was a bunch of women out there saying, like, now he had done some good content, like, because he had talked about the worth of a woman and the value, right? But he had done this based on his own experience. He had done this based on when he was being so good in his own experiences, right? According to other men who were just like giving of themselves, right? So I myself didn't like the delivery, but all the other stuff he did to talk about, like, hey, you got a woman that was making $30,000, yet she wants a man that's making 150 or more, and she don't want it if he ain't doing that. How do we then place value on money? Like what determines high value? So you're not a high value woman, but you want a high value man. Vice versa. You're not a high value man, but you only will date women who make $200,000-$300,000. What do you have to offer, right? But the point that I was trying to make is that some of the stuff he has said was fair, right? But what I didn't like about that was that, women want to talk about, I'm glad he died. He did the world a good service. He rotten hell. Hope he gets killed twice. And you just like, all those. And then those were some angry women. Because if anything what he said applied to you, it hurts their truth.
Exactly. Really.
If the girl got on that, thought was some, yes, I'm niggas who have messed up past and this, that, and the other now and get themselves together, think they're all okay. You're right. I'm in a long stuff, but where God is taking me and experiences where I'm at right now, this is what I need. I cannot be accountable for the man that I was 30 years ago. I don't understand that, man. What I understand is what I am now.
Right.
But when people can't get to you where you at, they kind of go where you've been to try to drag you back someplace where you don't want to go. And that's how that goes. You know what I mean?
So I didn't follow Kevin Samuel a lot, but I did see some of his I guess his videos, and he was pretty offensive. He was a lot of that stuff he was talking about was truth, but he came off in a way that offended a lot of people, especially when he was talking about women and their weight and what they look like, and I think he was objectifying women in that way. But I mean, it's true. Like you said, they want this man that's built a nice figure, and he works out, but then they won't do that. And I don't think that's important. We're talking to you guys about that earlier. Like, men are visual, and it's important for them to see you in a way that they can potentially see other women. And you ain't got to dress up and be,
Whoa. What do you mean off of yourself?
Oh, no, I was about to say every day. Oh yeah, every day. Like, I mean, right? Yeah, no, like every day. I mean, come on. I mean, that's putting a lot on our women. But some of them, they just like to go out and they like to look pretty. They like to put on makeup. That's their thing. But some are different. But a man does like to see his woman looking like a beautiful woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, Song of Solomon.
Right.
When he was looking at her and she was dressed and had makeup on and smelled good, he told her. He told her that. And so again, it's biblical. Like, your man is visual. The Bible's telling you your man is visual. He likes to see this. He likes to feel this.
Right.
And
All the time.
right. And so, like, you don't gotta go to bed and blah blah. What movie? It was some movie where the girl got up before a man got up, went to put her makeup on, and got back in the bed before.
That's too much.
Yeah, so you don't gotta do that. But no, but yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
it looked good physically, sound good, verbally, and be mentally safe for your man.
I'm just saying, God gave you as my gift.
Right. That's exactly what you are. You are a gift.
Right.
To him, wrap it up,
Yeah.
Undress it,
Right.
allow us to undress it, right? Open that gift, and enjoy the content, all the contents that are inside of that gift, right? And we will treat you, if we get that gift open every day, we will treat you like a gift every day. Now, with that being said, that shouldn't be the main purpose of your marriage or your relationship, but that's a huge aspect. My wife and I went through this one biblical marriage program, and the couple talked about how sex should be the soundtrack of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sex is important, just as music is in your daily life. You listen to music all the time, every day. If you're not watching TV, good music, hopefully not that trash out there. But yeah, good music. Sex is going to be the soundtrack to your marriage, and just listen to it, like partake in it. So the last time I think we did a podcast, I think that was maybe episode 2. We were out on your deck, and I had brought all those books, and it said one of those books is what women want, what men want. And it doesn't just talk about sex, it talks about intimacy. But, typically men want sex, men want intimacy, men want you, men want to spend time with you. Men need their wives.
Mm-hmm.
Men need them.
Mm-hmm.
We need you. We need for you to listen to us without trying to fix something, right? Just like you guys say that when you just talk to us, the first thing we want to do is want to fix something. We want to find a solution. We're the same way. We don't want you fixing everything. We just want to talk to you if you're safe. If you're safe. If you're safe enough to talk to without jumping down his throat, without offering ideas, without saying, well, you need to do this or you should do this. We also need to just get stuff out, get stuff off of our chest, allow it to be able to work through it. Sometimes talking to you about it will allow us to process it and come up with different ideas. And then you just say, yeah, baby, that sounds good to me.
Well, I would say give in to frustrated temptation. Yeah. Frustrated temptation. Got to give. So,
I'm alive.
right. Yeah, so, well, here's the thing. I always say this, like, ladies, don't make war there. Don't make war at home. I mean, for many men, when you go home, the first last thing you want is war at home. Like, I don't want to battle with you. One day when I find my wife, I don't want no strife. Like, I just want to come home. And if it's not difficult, listen, I'm going to tell you this. Most men, when they got it good at home, real men, they do not want to mess up their good thing at home. Because the Bible says, he who findeth a wife find a good thing. And it tells us in Proverbs that her breasts are like milk and honey. And believe me, I want milk and honey as much as I can get it. I like it in my tea. Yeah. I like it in my coffee. I like it at night and in bed. Like, I'm terrible. I'm not trying to do nothing to mess up my relationship. If you and me, we solid, anything else don't matter. That's why I don't play that when going to work-wise. No. Shorty, we friends. We are good co-workers, but you are by no means you have done the work, and nor have you walked down that aisle with me, nor has God given you as my gift. So we are work associates. I don't play with. I have no work. I make that clear, and I'm a very cordial, friendly type person, right? So people can get it wrong, and one of the things I always tell you, like, You know, people say, you know, I love you. I like you like me as a person. I like you too. I correct them. Because that people who know me know that that bothers me because, you know, it's like love. And it's just like one day when I find love, I don't want to conflate that with the world sees as love because, you know, that true love, that true genuine love that you out from somebody, man, that takes work. And so you don't just get to meet somebody last week and be like, yo, I just freaking love you. You don't know me, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love it when they say that, but it is like you don't know.
Man, after that, that fondness for him.
Right.
And I think that you just, especially guys, like you have that word just to say, yo, dude, you're a dope guy.
Right. So I just say, yo, I'm cool with you. And I was just like, I'm learning, even in the Christian brothers in the community, I'm learning to really, you know, kind of differentiate because that word is sending me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've given so much like love to nieces, nephews that have been here for the summers that have come from out of country, local, and that live in their own lives now. And, you know, we talk about this and it's just like, you know, I give love because, you know, naturally, you know, you give it selflessly, but you someday want the rewards of that. You want to feel the benefit of that. You want to get it back somehow. You know what I mean? And not that I'll never do. Listen, I do stuff for my family that they're not going to be able to do for me, right? But that's okay because I know God will make sure I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess today's topic of our show is nurturing, protecting, and let's break that down again. How do you nurture? How are we nurturing? I mean, listening, providing, studying him, doing special things for him, talking to him. How is he doing today? You know, really, how are you guys doing in your relationship? You know, take a deep self look into yourself and look in the mirror. Like, are you doing the things that you know your husband needs and wants you to do? And then if you're not, you know, if you need to apologize for that, go to him and say, honey, I'm sorry. My babe, I'm sorry. I know this is what you want. I know this is what you need. I know this is what you desire. Listen to him. Like, listen to what his dreams are, what his goals are. And if you can be of help and of assistance, assist that man. Help him do the research on how to build whatever he wants to build. Like if it's a business or a company, help him find out what that is. That would be a huge service to him. That shows him that you care. You really care. Like, and not only is that going to provide for him, but it's also going to provide for you and your family. I mean, men don't want to be in this alone. They're not going out to work 40, 60, 80 hours so it can just feed their pockets. They're trying to support their families. And this only benefits you and your children and your grandchildren and your grandchildren's grandchildren, right? Help them be the man that God calls them to be. Help them to be the man that they want to be. And I think that would strengthen your marriage, that will protect your marriage from any other enemy or persuasion or temptation that may come your family's way, your husband's way.
And let me tell you something. Ladies, what you pour into a man, you will get back tenfold. Because if I know that at the end of the day that you're doing all of this and plus making home a safe space for me, I already know I have more to do when it comes to loving you and being with you, right? It's a seed that's planted. So if you want that seed to grow, you got to nurture that. And the thing is that I'm not saying go out and find somebody and make somebody something. A man has to have it in his heart to want to do. So if you find a man with a good will to do in the spirit and you have the wherewithal and know-how, help that man through that, right? And trusting him. And when you trust the man, his leadership, we know that we're not going to always get it right. But let us be in a space where we can say, honey, I got it wrong. Let's see how we can fix this.
Yeah.
But as long as you trust me and expect me to lead and do better, I will do better. Because it is you who I want to please. It is only you that I'm living and loving for. So if you're telling me that you trust me, even when I make mistakes, I will study harder, work harder, so that I will do better. Because I know that when I take it back to you and you have to help me through it so we get it right, that's work for you. But the fact that you trust me and love me enough, you got me. What you give to me, I'm giving you tenfold. Men just want to love you. let us love you. Be in a space and a place where we can give you the things that you're asking for, and you won't even have to ask. We'll just give it unwillingly.
Amen. What he said. All right, so look, we're gonna have to end the show.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining Mom, the Moment of Men, episode 5. We'll see you next time with a new episode and another topic. Thank you.
Bow out.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I can push this table in and put it between the thing. So we ain't got to keep breaking this down. There's less work for us to do.